Hi. You know, the truth is, I have been feeling really nervous about being here today. But you know, now I think I'm just a little nervous about Mars. So I think we're good. Today, I am here to tell you the story of live art. I'd like to tell you a little bit about the idea and how that came about how it really happened, and what we're seeing today from live art. So I have the great honor and fortune of working in two fields that I love very, very much, the performing arts and children. And I get to do that at SPARC, which you heard about, the School of the Performing Arts. And we love it there because we see these children come and they play and they act and they sing and they dance and they have such a great time. And then even some of them go on to pursue a career in the performing arts. And that is a very rewarding thing to see and be a part of. Well, during my career, I decided to have a family. And when I made that choice, I was a little nervous that I would lose my own creative opportunities. And my dear friend Jenny Hundley told me not to worry because the creativity would bloom in a way that I couldn't possibly imagine at that time, and she was exactly right. So fast forward a little bit, and I was pregnant with my second child, and I couldn't sleep at all. I was pretty sure I was having an alligator, in fact. That's Daniel. He's 4 now, and the jury's still out about the alligator, but... So I was journaling. I would sit up at night and I would listen to music from some of my dear friends and my favorite musicians, and I would listen to their lyrics, and I would draw pictures and write words that came to my mind. And something happened in those evenings. I saw this thing. I could see it. There was this musician standing on a canvas, playing his music in a place great, like the Carpenter Theater. And then there were all these children around him, and they were dancing with paint on their feet. And what I realized when I thought more about that, I realized that the children that were in that vision were some typically developing students who have a great passion for the arts. And there were some students that happened to have some special needs that also have a great passion for the arts. And I thought a lot about that, about what that kind of performance could be like. Is it possible to create a performance where students of all abilities come together and have the same magical, life-affirming opportunity? I didn't share it with anyone for a very long time. I was very afraid. I was afraid that people would say that I was crazy, that I don't have a degree in special education, and I had never ever really directed anything before, so, you know, I was ready for all of that, so I didn't share it. But I believe that in life, there are a series of circumstances that happen that bring us to a moment. And those circumstances can be things from our childhood. They can be things our parents taught us. They can be the teachers and the wonderful mentors that we've had in our life. But most importantly, it's about the people that come across our path. So at this moment, with this convergence of things in my mind, Ryan Ripperton was appointed the new executive director of SPARC, and I didn't know him from a hole in the wall, but for some reason, I said this to him. I shared it, and I was terrified. And he said yes. And I mention it because having great leadership is sort of like winning a metaphorical lottery. You're lucky when you have that kind of leader. So we began then to think of all of the amazing people in this community that we know, the artists, the visual artists, the musicians, the dancers, the ballet, the nonprofit organizations, the Faison School, North Star Academy. There are so many, Jam Inc., you name it. What are all the amazing people in this community that could come together and make something like this happen? And we went out and met with all of these people, and all of them said, this is crazy. So when do we start? So we started, and we created a series of cross-pollinated classes. And what I mean by that is we shook the bag up. So we decided to take dancing and painting with your feet, with music, vocalization, American Sign Language, technology, ukulele, you name it. It goes on and on and on. And we shook that bag up because by doing so, we could guarantee that every student in the class, despite their level of experience or possibly the fact that they had never been able to have an arts class ever or any opportunity like that, we could make it so that they're all starting from ground zero, which means they're going to grow together at the same time. So we created these classes. We brought these students in from all over the school systems, and we brought these teachers together, the teaching artists, the special educators, the musicians. And it was unbelievable. And that's where the story gets really good, because it's about what we saw in these children and these teachers. We were experiencing children coming together and forming a new way of communicating, many times through sign language, where they would never have found themselves in that opportunity or in that place before. We are seeing children perhaps with cerebral palsy who had never learned to extend their arms, but one of their friends reaches over and says, "Here, let me help you. I'm going to help you raise your arm up for that dance." We're seeing students who are playing ukuleles and laughing and having a great time, influenced by these amazing musicians that they're exposed to. And the teachers, you can only imagine a teacher is very passionate about what they do. Well, you bring 9 of them together in one class. That's a lot of passion, and that's a lot of cooks in the kitchen. And they had to learn how to come together and work that out. And that in itself is an art form and to be applauded. So this was all happening. And then we created this culminating performance, which was insane. We invited these national recording artists to come to Richmond and to perform their music, just like a rock and roll concert. And all of these students came out and performed various live acts of art with these musicians. And these musicians donated their time to this because they were intrigued and they wanted to have that experience themselves. What we witnessed and what happened was like nothing I've ever seen. And the audience's reaction was phenomenal. I'm sure many people came that first year and thought, yeah, is this going to work? we were all hoping that it worked, particularly backstage. But not only did it work, but the audience left feeling exhilarated and uplifted. And I think the reason why that happened is because they were witnessing human connection at its most truthful and primal place. We didn't hide our process. We didn't shoot for perfection or what the critics might write about us. We got these children ready, and these artists came in, and we said, all you need to do is connect with each other. And when that happens, little happy souls fly all over the place. It's really amazing. When you think about that, and you think about a child who gets to feel that way, who has acceptance, who experiences compassion, who experiences empathy, that child is unstoppable at that point, and every single child in the world deserves to feel that way. There's nothing I can say to you today that can really explain to you what live art feels like. All I can tell you is that if we can continue to offer students in this community and children in communities all over the world, if we can offer them these opportunities, there is such hope for positive collective impact for the next generation. And so I would like to introduce you to some of those students because they are really the ones who can tell you better than I.
Driving in the car, on the way there, I was having a panic attack, and I was freaking out. And it just made me say, okay, when I get there, I can do this. And knowing my friends were there and they can do this, I can do it. I can do anything.
Would you say to me, am I broken mind? Would you dance and play, oh, with them wings that don't fly? I know they don't fly so straight.
From where we started back in January to where we are right now, it's amazing.
I want them to be amazed at me. I want them to be excited, to be happy, to be proud of me.
Reach out and let that bird inside go.
It's not that we deserve to be here, but we belong here. Every single one of us belongs here together, right now, for this.